Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another installment of Slab and Gab here on the channel. And today we're going to be gabbing about league leader cards, and specifically vintage league leader cards from the 50s through the 80s. And what are some of the best league leader cards that are out there? And the one that you see in front of you here from 1966 Topps, which shows the 1965 NL batting leaders, is generally regarded as one of, if not the best, vintage league leader card. And I kind of became aware of the awesomeness of this card a while back, and was admiring some that were out there. Had it on my target list, and my buddy Dylan over at Double D Vintage Baseball Cards sent me this one that you see here. Still have it in the Double D grading system holder. Super awesome card. I'm just so excited to have this from Dylan even weeks later here. I do think that's one of the best. And I saw a recent episode from my friend Adam over at Vintage Sanctuary, also kind of questioning whether that one is perhaps the best that exists. So I think it's in the running, and maybe it's my personal favorite. But recently I did think of one other one that I thought was kind of close to it in terms of significance. It maybe doesn't feature the caliber of players, across the board that this one does, with, three bona fide Hall of Famers, some of the best to ever play the game. But it does have, at least one or two very good Hall of Famers and some other stars. And it's more important for its historical significance in the game. And this is the card. I obviously tracked down a graded copy recently, which is why it's the subject of today's episode. It is the 1962 Topps American League Home Run Leaders card. And this one here, just picked this up last month. Was really happy to land this clean centered copy. It's a lowly PSA 4, but it looks beautiful, and it's the only copy of this card that I'll ever need. And of course, it's very obvious why this is such a great leaders card, in my opinion, because it obviously signifies the 61 home runs hit by Roger Maris in 1961 to break Babe Ruth's home run record, single season home run record. That is a well-documented tale in baseball history. There have been books and movies and many things done on it, so I'm not going to do it justice here, giving a breakdown of everything. But obviously, Maris went through quite an ordeal breaking that record in the summer of 61. It was a record that a lot of baseball fans didn't want to see broken, quite honestly, and it was an extremely stressful experience for him to go through that chase in the public eye. And it's just amazing to me that he ended up, besting that feat and finishing the season with 61 home runs. And then, of course, you have Mickey Mantle, who's dealing with injury and fell behind, but still finished second with 54. So just a really, really cool card when you consider its place in the history of the game and how, hallowed that home run record was and still is. And especially now, obviously, controversially so, McGuire and Bonds have, since surpassed that number. And then, of course, this season, Aaron Judge is aiming to, and still on track for at the time that I'm recording this video, try to break the American League record, which is still 61, held by Roger Maris. So cool to see Judge, chasing this more than 60 years later in the same Yankees uniform. I think that kind of gives this card even a little bit of additional significance here in 2022, and just really happy to have scooped one of these up. This is one that I've wanted in the collection for a long time and never prioritized for some reason, but getting this 66 in from Dylan recently kind of inspired me and got me in gear, and decided that, if there was one other leaders card that I wanted to make it a priority to add into the collection, I was going to do that with this card here. So I was able to pick up this copy. You can see, as I said, the condition is pretty good here. There's a little bit of whitening on the corners, which I think is why this got a PSA 4, but it's a very clean copy of the card. No real printing issues or anything. It's well centered, which I love. The 62 set has really grown on me in recent years. And of course, on the back, have the full list of home run leaders from the AL, all the way down to those who hit just 18 home runs at the bottom, still made the card. And then you have Grand Slam leaders on the right side of the card, which is pretty cool. A little bit of a nick in the card in the top back here, to the left of the letter A. And so it's probably that in combination with the corners that resulted in this getting a PSA 4. But I love this, and because of the lowly grade of 4, got this card for I think $100 or $105, something like that. It was right around that $100 price point, and I think you'd be hard pressed in the world of vintage, especially right now or over the last couple of years, to find a card that looks better than that and that it's more significant than that as far as the history of the game goes for just $100 spent. So pretty pumped with that one. Really appreciate everybody coming by to check it out. Excited to have it in the collection. And again, thank you to Dylan for the inspiration to kind of go after that and get off my butt. I think this pairs nicely, being an American League card next to the NL card on the right. And to me, I'll save the debate on which is the best for another day. And I'll just put it out there that in my mind, these are the two best league leaders cards, at least from the 1960s, that Topps produced. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that debate in the comments below. And until next time, I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you're enjoying the hobby. Take care.